Hello there again, and today we have another Rebel on Rebel matchup with Blair playing Thomas. Blair flying Wes Jensen with Draw Their Fire, Jan Oars with the Iron Cannon turret, and newcomer Keyan Farlander with Opportunist and Heavy Laskin. Thomas flying his triple E-Wings, so we have Corran Horn with Fire Control Systems, Predator and R2D2, followed up with Black Moon Squadron Pilot and Nave Squadron Pilot. Really looking forward to flying Keyan Farlander. His ability looks really interesting, and look forward to seeing how it goes. So here we go. We've obviously set up with asteroids already, and ships have been laid out. We've just got the Nave Squadron and the Black Moon Squadron pilots from Thomas flying, just doing a one bank each, and here we have Keyan Farlander. You can see doing a 3 straight forward. Now I won the initiative, so my 8s will be flying first and shooting first before Corran Horn. So here we have just Jan Oars and Wes Jensen just coming up and behind Keyan Farlander there, and then here we have Corran Horn just attempting to flank around the outsides, and we have jumped to the next movement phase. So here we have Nave Squadron just flying forward, just navigating the asteroids there, and just going to take an action. Obviously just going to take a quick focus just in case any of my ships manage to get into range this turn. And there we have Black Moon Squadron Pilot just doing a one bank and taking an evade as well. And just like the last turn, we have Keyan Farlander and the rest of his squadron making the 3 forwards. Just going to check range here, and unfortunately for me, both the Nave and Black Moon Squadron pilots are just out of range, so we'll not be shooting at them this turn with the heavy laser cannon, but just taking a focus just in case. And then obviously having Jan Oars and Wes Jensen again move up and behind in formation. And just a quick focus there for Wes as well, and obviously here we have Corran banking, doing a 3 bank, coming around, trying to come around my left flank and just barrel rolling there just to get a better angle for next turn. So just moving on to next turn's manoeuvres. So here we have obviously Nave Squadron Pilot just performing a one bank there. Obviously going to be shooting this turn, so taking a focus. And here we have the Black Moon Squadron Pilot forming a 2 turn, just neatly sliding in there next to the asteroid, obviously just trying to maximise firing arcs, so again taking a focus. So here we have Keyan Farlander obviously wanting to keep as much range as possible, but still keep an arc, so just doing one bank there, banking in towards the Nave Squadron, and inevitably what will be Corran Horn flying in behind. So obviously the ideal plan here is to take a target lock with Keyan on the Nave Squadron Pilot, and then we'll have Wes shooting to strip the token until we can have attack with 6 dice. So unfortunately here, just trying to have Wes leapfrog Keyan Farlander, but not quite making it. So first mistake of the game, just bumping into the back of Keyan Farlander, and indeed skipping the action. And of course, as it usually happens when one bumps, the next one bumps. So Jan, who was just planning to slot in next to Keyan Farlander there, just trying to do the 2 bank, but just through a matter of millimeters, just nicking Wes there. So unfortunately she'll be bumping into the back of Wes and skipping her action as well. So not the best of first engagements, but we'll see how we go. and obviously Corin Horn making his manoeuvre last, so again performing a 3 bank, and Thomas obviously just going to make a barrel roll there just to get Corin out of the way of that asteroid, so he's not flying through it next turn. So just finishing off his barrel there. So moving on to onto firing. So obviously we have Wes here, who is with his 3 dice at range 2, just going to be shooting at the Nave Squadron pilot. Unfortunately doesn't have the target lock or a focus, and indeed rolling 2 focuses, however just not having the focus to spend, so he will of course use his special ability and strip the token away from the Nave Squadron helper. And then here we have Yarn Oars deciding to fire her ion cannon turret at the Black Moon Squadron pilot, just unfortunately only scoring the 1 hit, and indeed the 1 evade from the Black Moon, so no need to take any damage there. So here we have Corin Horn firing back, just targeting Keyan Farlander. It seems to be the obvious target, so he will roll 3 attack dice against 2 defense dice. So rolling blanks and then using Predator to roll even more blanks. So unfortunately, Corin Horn not scoring any damage. However, he obviously activates his fire control systems, so it does acquire a target lock on Keyan Farlander for later use. So here we have Keyan firing finally. So we have Yarn taking a stress to give him an additional attack, and Keyan himself using Opportunists to gain an additional attack. Now, my eagerness did miscount. It should actually be 6 dice, however only rolling 5. So I did roll 3 focuses and 2 blanks, and then on the reroll from spending the target lock, I rolled a critical and another eye, so there we go, spending the stress as a focus to change 4 eyeballs into 4 hits. And then we have the Nave Squadron rolling 1 evade, so just surviving, going down to 1 hit point. So he takes his critical, which is of ill consequence at this time. So here we have the Black Moon Squadron pilot about to return fire on the lightning rod that is Keyan Farlander. So he will shoot range 2, and rolling 3 hits, well 1 hit and 2 criticals, and indeed Keyan rolling no dodges. However, using the draw their fire from Wes Jansen, I will only take 2 shields off of Keyan and 1 shield off of Wes himself. Now here I managed to convince myself that the critical that was on the E-Wing pilot in the Nave Squadron should have been downgraded to a hit because it was heavy laser cannon. However, it was actually rolled on the reroll from the target lock. However, it doesn't have any bearing on the game. So here we have the Nave Squadron pilot rolling 2 hits and 0 dodges from Keyan again, so Keyan taking 4 damage this turn already. So here we have Thomas just debating as to whether to fire again with Corin Horn, but I believe he decides not to. And there we go. So moving on to the next manoeuvres. So here we have the heavily damaged Nave Squadron just performing a 4K, obviously planning to get in behind my ships and avoid taking too much damage, whilst hopefully getting to fire 1 more time. And we have the Black Moon Squadron pilot just performing a gentle 2 bank there, hoping to perform some blocking manoeuvres to get in the way of some of my ships. There we have Keyan Farlander performing a red manoeuvre, a 2K, just managing to sneak past the Black Moon Squadron pilot there, and snugly fitting into range 1 of the Black Moon Squadron pilot. He will take a stress for his troubles, and then we'll have Wes performing a 4K, trying to obviously jump into the empty space vacated by the Black Moon Squadron pilot, and just managing to slot in quite nicely there next to the asteroid, not onto it, so he'll take a stress, but does have range 1 of both the Nave Squadron and Black Moon Squadron pilots. And then we have Keyan obviously trying to dispose of her stress. Didn't have very far to go, just performing a straight one, so just crashing into the back of the Nave Squadron there. Skipping her action, but obviously getting rid of her stress. And then we have Keyan Horn planning to do a 3 straight, but obviously Keyan is in the way, so he just crashes straight into the back of Keyan Farlander, so very nicely done there from Keyan, not going to be shot at by Keyan Horn this turn, which is quite good. So here we have just some debate as to what the correct target is for for Wes to shoot at. Obviously, the obvious target being the Nave Squadron, just to take it off the board, but obviously whether or not it's worth shooting at the Black Moon Squadron pilot to strip the token so that could possibly use opportunists, or more importantly just have 5 dice attack at the Black Moon Squadron pilot without a token. Now I think what was decided is that if Wes shoots at the Nave Squadron and just kills him, then Keyan can shoot her own cannon at the Black Moon Squadron pilot and hopefully strip the focus. But here we have Wes, obviously range 1 of the Nave Squadron pilot, so just scoring 2 damage there, and unfortunately for the Nave Squadron pilot only rolling 1 evade, so that will be the end of his day. And then we have Keyan here firing her ion cannon turret at the Black Moon Squadron pilot, and scoring 2 hits, but managing to roll 2 naked evades, so not having to spend the focus either. So here we have obviously Keyan Horn, his turn to shoot, so he does in fact have range 1 on Wes Jansen. So Thomas rolling his 4 dice and just scoring 4 straight hits, so not looking good for Wes. But Wes, being the elite pilot that he is, manages to roll 2 evades. Now there is 2 criticals, so removing the last shield and indeed scoring the injured pilot that reduces Wes's pilot skill to 0, so unfortunately Wes will not be stripping any more tokens this game. So he's down to 2 hull points. So here we have obviously Keyan Farlander at range 1 with the attack buff from Keyan Oars, and so 5 dice, and just spending his stress as a focus there to score 3 hits, but rolling 2 natural evades, so only 1 damage coming through onto the Black Moon Squadron pilot. Now here we have obviously the Black Moon returning fire onto Keyan Farlander, so just spending his focus for 2 hits there, and indeed Keyan rolling 0 dodges, so taking 2 more damage, only 2 more hull points left. And then here we have Keyan Horn activating his special ability to fire again. Obviously didn't use the fire control systems when he could have, so here we have a reroll, and again Wes rolling some evades, so only taking 1 damage and just surviving by the skin of his teeth. So obviously back to manoeuvres, we have pilot skill 0 Wes Jansen moving first, so obviously being stressed, doesn't have too many options, so just performing a 1 bank there and slotting in behind the Black Moon Squadron pilot. So obviously Black Moon Squadron not in a position to perform a K turn, unfortunately, with the asteroid there, so just performing a 2 bank and taking an evade for his troubles. And then here we have Keyan Farlander again performing his second red manoeuvre in a row, so another K turn, so back-to-back K turns for Keyan Farlander. So obviously his ability to expend his stress has proven its worth already, just with his manoeuvrability and indeed being able to effectively have a free stress from performing a red manoeuvre. So again, just picking up a stress there. Obviously Thomas just quickly checking arc there, probably shouldn't have, but it's not too bad, doesn't affect the game at this point. And here we have obviously a stressed Yarn, just trying to perform a 1 bank, but unfortunately just bumping into Wes there, so she'll just backtrack a little bit and obviously relieving her stress, but taking no action this turn. And here we have Corin Horn again just performing a 2 bank and just bumping into Wes there, so he will not get an action this turn. And obviously having fired last turn in the end phase, he will not be shooting again this turn, thankfully for Yarn's sake. So here we have firing, so Yarn using her ion cannon turret, targeting Corin Horn, so scoring 2 hits, and indeed managing to squeeze a damage through. So Corin Horn taking a damage, but more importantly receiving an ion token. Yeah, here we have just decided that obviously concluded that Keyan Farlander does have arc on the Black Moon Squadron pilot, and just taking the extra attack dice from Yarn, so just the 3 hits, and just taking some damage there. Now it was determined when we did dials shortly after this that I had spent the stress as a focus, although as you see I didn't manage to do it there. So here we have Wes firing at the Black Moon Squadron pilot, but no damage coming through that turn. So there you can see the stress has gone from Keyan Farlander, something to be aware of when you're using him, just to make sure that you do take the stress away if you do spend it as a focus. So here we have Wes trying to thread the needle, as it were, just performing a 1 straight, and indeed managing to just squeeze in nice and comfortably in between Corin Horn and just in front of Keyan Farlander there, so we'll just take a focus. And then we have the Black Moon Squadron pilot, obviously wanting to get back in the fight, so performing a 3k, and he will take a stress for his troubles. And then again, this is Keyan Farlander performing his 3rd red manoeuvre in a row, so he will just do a 1 hard turn, one of the many manoeuvres that I don't use on the B-Wing very often, but indeed Keyan's ability really coming into its own here with his extreme manoeuvrability. And then we have Yarn performing a 1 bank, obviously to shed stress, but just to make sure she stays out of Corin Horn's firing arc when he does perform his 1 white straight manoeuvre after his ion effect wears off. So there she just picks up the focus, and obviously here we have Corin Horn performing his 1 manoeuvre. Now, very important that it is a 1 white manoeuvre, so it's not green for R2D2 to recover a shield. So just deciding whether he wants to perform an action here, and thought better of the barrel roll and goes for an evade token. So first up we have Yarn Oars with the iron cannon turret, and indeed spending the focus for 3 hits, and managing to 3 undefended hits, but obviously the iron cannon just dealing 1 damage, but more importantly just taking the Ion token there for Corin, so he won't be going anywhere again next turn. Obviously did spend the focus on Jan, but doesn't matter, that hasn't been taken away. So here we have heavy laser cannon. Now I just missed the opportunity to use Jan, however just got 4 naked hits, and just the one evade, I believe, so only 1 more damage left on the Black Moon Squadron pilot, and once again not spending the stress as a focus, but again during dials decided that was in fact what had happened, even though we had forgotten. So there we have Wes firing at the Black Moon Squadron pilot, but not managing to score. That was Black Moon Squadron pilot firing back at Keyan Farlander and scoring 1 more hit. And then here we have Wes firing on the Black Moon Squadron pilot and scoring the last damage. So got 3 on 1, but obviously with Wes and Keyan only on 1 hit point each left, the game could turn with a relatively healthy Corin. So, well, when I say relatively healthy, he's only got his 2 hull points left. But so here we have Wes just performing a target lock, and indeed, as I said earlier, just had spent, or thought that we had spent the focus and the stress last turn. So obviously the stress had vanished. So that was obviously Keyan Farlander's 4th red manoeuvre in a row. So obviously again his ability, well, assuming you do obviously spend the focus, or stress as a focus when you attack, very very powerful ability. So just obviously Jan making her moves there, and Corin performing his 1 straight and deciding to take an evade token. So here we have obviously Jan will be firing her Ion cannon turret, just checking the range there, just still in range 2, and scoring a couple of hits, but Corin Horn managing to roll a couple of naked evades, so he will not be getting Ion this turn. Obviously not having a shot back, so here we're moving on to Keyan Farlander, and I think another missed opportunity where I forgot to use Jan to buff the attack, so just the 4 attack dice from the heavy laser cannon, but remembering to spend the stress as a focus this time, so we have 3 hits, but rolling 2 evades and spending the evade token, so managing to survive, not taking any damage that turn. So here we have Wes Jansen at his pilot skill 0 because it was critical, just 2 turning in and taking a focus. And then first white manoeuvre in 5 or 6 turns for Keyan Farlander, just going to take a 2 bank here, and managing to also take a target lock to lock onto Corin Horn whilst he can. And there we have Thomas just moving Jan around and just doing her 2 turn, and just thinking better of the focus, deciding that Jan's obviously not going to have any shots this turn, so goes for the target lock on Corin Horn. And here we have Corin just performing a 2 turn, so just sort of getting range 1 of Wes. So just probably checking arc, probably shouldn't have, but not of particularly ill consequence, so just taking an evade token there actually. So obviously Jan out of range, so not being able to take a shot. So we have Corin Horn shooting, just scoring 2 damage at range 1 at Wes. And again we have Wes rolling 2 naked evades, so not even needing to spend his focus token. So Here we have some return fire. We have Keyan Farlander again, probably missing the opportunity to use Jan's ability, but using heavy laser cannon. So we have rearranging that crit to a hit, and then spending the target lock to reroll the remaining 2 dice. And we have scored 3 hits. So Thomas rolling and rolling nothing but blanks, so even with the 1 evade token he's going to take 2 damage and Corin Horn will be dead. So there we have it, Rebel victory. It seems that Keyan Farlander, with a little bit of practice, not necessarily with this particular build, obviously with the heavy laser cannon and opportunist, but I think is a fantastic pilot and has a great future as the game progresses, and certainly a pilot to watch out for. So thanks again for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again.